Hello everyone and welcome back to Autodesk Inventor Professional Tutorials. In this video we are going to continue to talk about the Create menu under the 3D Model tab. In the previous videos we talked about the Extrude and Revolve features. In this video we're going to dive into the Sweep feature. Sweep feature is again very commonly used. It's a similar concept, it just requires different information. It needs two sketches to create a sweep feature, one for the profile and one for the path. So let's just give a quick example. Let's start a 2D sketch on XY plane and let's start drawing some lines starting from the origin point. Let's say our first line is this vertical line and I want to add an arc here. I can get out of this command and I can click on arc here. But also I want to show you a quick shortcut. I can come back to this endpoint of this first line. Notice that this gray dot appears and I can hold down the left mouse button and drag and that's going to create an arc. It's just a quick version, it's just a quick shortcut in Autodesk Inventor to switch between line and arc. So as I complete the arc, I let the mouse button go and I'm going to draw a horizontal line here and it automatically applied this tangent constraint to the arc that I created. I'm going to use that shortcut again and hold and drag the endpoint of that line and create another arc. And then I'm going to create maybe another vertical line here that is going to be tangent to the second arc. Let's click OK and get out of the command. And let's dimension this. Let's call this 10 millimeters, and let's call this section also 10 millimeters, but take advantage of this dimension we already entered. And then let's take advantage of the same parameter again and call these all 10 millimeters. So if I change this 10 millimeters, everything will update accordingly. Let's give dimensions to the arc for the diameter. Let's call this 15 millimeters maybe, and call this also 15 millimeters. And again, use this as our parameter. So let's finish the sketch. Now, the first sketch is generated. I can see the sketch one in the browser tree. As I said, for sweep feature, I need two sketches, and this is my path. I need the profile. So for the second sketch, I want to draw a profile normal to this path. So I can always go to the origin plane. Well, this is not normal to the original path, and XY is not normal to the path, but XZ is normal to the path. So I can kind of look at it like this. Sometimes people who are beginners just learning how to use a CAD software, they can it can be confusing to locate and determine which plane you need to use. And stick around for that. I will give an example on how to get around that. So let's use the XZ plane and create a sketch. And maybe let's draw a circle here and dimension that to 5 millimeters. Now we have the circle, which is the closed geometry, and we have the lines and arcs here as my path. Now I have two sketches generated in the browser tree. Now I can use the sweep feature. Now, it automatically selected the only profile that is available, only closed geometry, which is the circle. Now it's asking me to select the curve or edge, which is the path that it's going to follow. So I can select this path that I created and click OK. Notice that it generated this basic tubing, this pipe, and I can even make it more realistic. I can always go back to the sweep feature. I can click on the plus sign and expand and see which sketches it consumed. In this case, it is sketch 1 and sketch 2. I can go into sketch 2 and modify that. I can maybe put a circle here and dimension that to 3 millimeters and finish that sketch. Nothing will change because the sweep feature is still um, the overall geometry here, the outer circle is still selected. So I can just right click sweep, and I can click on edit feature, or as you know, I can double click on the icon and change the profile that it is sweeping. So I can clear the selections here. That way, profile is unselected, but instead of selecting the whole thing, I can just select this outer section. Now it is a pipe with, and it's hollow in the inside. So now it's more realistic. You can even make it even more realistic. You can go to the material library on the top with the drop down menu. We haven't covered this yet. In the future we will, but just as an example, we can select clear yellow, for example. Now it's a uh, plastic vacuum tube or maybe plastic airline, especially for CNC equipment, automation equipment in manufacturing facilities. For pneumatic lines, these types of geometries are used, and sweep feature is commonly used, and they usually you know, change the visibility, change the appearance to some kind of a clear appearance in the material library. We're going to talk about that in the future, but for now, I just want to make it look a bit more realistic. But let's just talk about maybe a few different scenarios. Let's delete this sweep feature and let's create another sketch on the XY plane. This time, let's draw a line again from the origin point, but instead of applying an arc, let's draw another horizontal line directly, and then let's draw another vertical line, and then click OK. In the sketch mode, you can technically use fillets. You can, for example, set this to 5 mm and come to the corner and click wherever you want to apply this fillet. And you can kind of implement these kind of changes here in the sketch mode. Instead of clicking between lines and arcs or using different shortcuts, you can also add 2D fillets in the sketch mode. And when you're done, you can just finish the sketch. Now you need the profile. In the first example, we added a circle here using the origin planes. But again, sometimes you don't want to use the origin planes. Sometimes when you're working on complex assemblies with multiple components, in certain scenarios, you want to create your own plane. You cannot really use the origin planes, or you don't want to use the origin planes. In that case, you can just come to the work features menu. We have a video in this tutorial covering the work plane, work axis, and work point. You can click on work plane and select the first line you created and select the point where the line begins. Now you created your own work plane that you can draw a circle on. And let's create a new sketch and select that work plane. Instead of a circle, maybe we select a 2-point rectangle here. Let's use a 2-point center rectangle and select here and click on generate general dimensions, maybe 5 mm in length, 5 mm in height. Let's finish that and apply sweep. This time, it just selected the rectangle as the only closed geometry. For the curve, again, we can select this and click OK. It is still using the same appearance. We can always go back to the default appearance here by in the drop-down menu in the Appearance tab for the Material Library. And this time we created our own work plane, and if that is somehow blocking your vision and you just want that out of the way, you can always click on it and right click and uncheck visibility. It is also Alt V on your keyboard as a shortcut if you want to if you would prefer to use that. But we can kind of create this kind of sweep. We can use the sweep feature like this on a 3D object like this one. And again, let's delete this again, and let's just do another example. In this case, we want to use maybe splines. So on the XY plane, let's say we start from the origin point, and this is our first line. And then maybe we go to the spline. We have a video in the tutorial, again, talking about splines in more detail. So we can kind of create one reference point here, another reference point here, another here, uh, maybe here, here, and then here. Right click create, or there was another check mark here. I could have used that shortcut to end the command and create the spline as well. And we can of course use these reference points to manipulate the spline as we talked about in the past. So we can kind of make it look a bit more realistic like this. And we can finish that sketch. Again, we can do the same thing that we did. We can just create our own work plane, or we could have used the origin planes in this case as well. Create a new sketch, draw a circle here, and this time let's draw our second circle as well. And dimension this one to 5 mm, dimension this one to 3 mm. So now let's finish the sketch and let's use the sweep feature and select that profile. And for the curve, let's select this path and click OK. So now this is a more random path, which in a lot of cases is more realistic. Especially, I've seen a lot of CNC equipment, and as you design a really complex assembly, and you want to add some kind of vacuum hoses or pneumatic lines, air lines, pressure lines. Sometimes they don't follow a consistent path, like a linear line. It's just a straight line. Sometimes they are randomly placed and floating in air, maybe held down with zip ties. If you want to, keep your design very realistic, you can use the spline feature to make it, to modify it as you please. And of course, you can always go back in the sketch and modify the reference points of the spline and manipulate the design. So these are the just quick examples about the sweep feature. Like I said, it is commonly used, and it is right next to Extrude and Revolve. It requires two sketches, one for the path, one for the profile. And in the future, we are going to go into more details. And before we end the video, I want to talk about one more detail. I know that I skipped these other orientation behaviors. We use the follow path behavior. So those are a bit more advanced features, but advanced selections, but let's just talk about them shortly. If we click on the XY plane and let's say we draw a line, I'm not going to, again, worry about the dimensions for now because this is just a quick example. And let's say I am creating a plane right here and draw a sketch on there. And then maybe it's just, again, like a circle, and let's sweep that. So I can select the profile, and I can select the curve right here, and choosing the default orientation, which is follow path. And if I change it to fixed path, notice, I mean, actually you can actually even see the icon here, and that also explains it pretty well. In this case, this is adapting to the path. This first section is coming straight, and it's adapting to the change in the sketch. In this case, you are keeping the profiles, like reference previews here. So, for example, you have your first circle here, and second circle here, and third circle here, and those are kind of the steps you are following, and those are just fixed, as you can see in the icon. And you can change it to the default follow path. In that case, it adapts to the path you are using. And of course, and then you also have the guided version. We're gonna look at those options in the future and in what circumstances they come in handy, and so that we will maybe do some exercises together to use them, and that's gonna make more sense. But 9 out of 10 times you're going to be using the first option here, and that's just going to help you with your design. But again, sweep feature, again, in this kind of videos, same thing with the Extrude and Revolve as well. The important part is being familiar with them. As we do more exercises on these features, that's going to just make more sense. And right now, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.